Good. It is still morning. Good morning. It's 11:48. I was about to say good afternoon. Good morning, ladies. And I am getting ready for a coaching client, a few this afternoon. So I just wanted to go on live and talk a little bit about something I just posted from the Hardly Initiated podcast. And it is generating some conversation. All right. I'm sorry. I'm making some notes of all the things I need to do later. All right. But we are going to talk a little bit about no free sex. No free sex. Sorry. I got a thing in my cheek that's making my... Oh, anyway. No free sex. Okay. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about. And another influencer has kind of brought to my attention about the games, right, that women play, and the clip, that the gentleman talked about, make him wait, make him earn it, don't answer every call, don't answer every text. And I want to give some context to that it's really not about games. It's not about playing games. It's about finding your self-worth. It's about figuring out who you are, what you want, and moving accordingly. But I get it. He used the term game, and so now it's being seen as a game that women play. That is not what I teach. That is not what I encourage. I encourage that a woman walk in her healthy self-esteem, high self-esteem. I encourage that a woman know her self-worth. And once she discovers that, once she realizes that, wow, I'm not going to give myself away for free. I'm not going to just give my heart away, give my body away, give my time, my energy away. I'm actually valuable, right? So just like our money, just like anything else that we deem as precious or important, we have to know the value of it. And remember this, we have to know the value. What's happening today, which I think is really sad, is women are going online and they're letting men determine their value. They're letting men determine what their worth is. And that's a problem. That's a problem. No one determines my worth but me and God. Okay? So just because I hear 10 men in a row say, Anita, I won't wait. Anita, I won't wait. Anita, I won't wait. Okay. Right? That doesn't change my worth and value. That does not change my standard. And, that's okay. I want those men to, they're perfectly within their right not to wait. They're perfectly within their right. I've never denied that. I've never told a man, you know what? You don't want to wait. That's your right to not wait. However, you're not a good fit for me. We're not a good fit for each other. And I am going to take my time. I'm going to learn you and get to know who I'm dealing with. I believe that my time and my energy and my body and my heart are the most valuable thing I have over my house, my car, how much money I have. It's the most valuable thing that I have. And I'm not going to give it away freely. And I need you to understand that the hashtag no free sex, there is no free sex, right? It's going to cost something. For a lot of women, it costs time. It costs money. It costs their heart or their heartache. It costs something. For men, same thing. Time, money, effort. It costs something. So for us to move about in this world and think that sex is free or should be free, you're sadly mistaken. It is going to cost you something. And every person must determine what that cost is. And remember, I'm not talking about monetarily, right? It's a standard that you set for yourself. What is my personal standard? And just because a man or anyone else, there are women out here who have told me, oh, you're crazy, men are not going to wait. There are women who say that to me. And I'm like, okay. Like, again, that's something you don't believe. But don't put that on me. That is not my belief. That's your belief. You're trying to put your belief on me that men are not going to wait. Okay, thank you. I've met too many men who are waiting. So, okay. That's something that clearly is not in your, that's not in your worldview. That you don't know any men that are waiting. That's not something you've come across. I get it. I totally get it. And you are well within, your own worldview to think that. But, thankfully, that is not my worldview. I know men right now that I could call upon, and they are waiting. They are abstaining. They are looking for their good thing. And so, okay, like I always tell people, you are perfectly, that's your right to think how you want to think and believe how you want to believe. I'm sharing a different thought. I'm sharing a different belief. And the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because, one, I've had a lot of life experience. And two, I want women to finally, and this is something that's so interesting to me about feminism, I want women to finally have the happiness, have the joy, have the life, have the marriage or the relationship that they really want. And I want to give them skills and tools to get there. And I would be doing them a great disservice if I said, have sex with a man on the third date. That doesn't benefit the woman. And that's just what it is. It doesn't benefit her. So that is what is crazy making to me about the feminist argument that a woman should be able to go on a date and have sex with a man on the first date, the third date, or the sixth date or whatever. Because isn't it about doing what's best for her? And ladies, I want you to be honest with me. Be honest on this live. I want you to think back over the last 5 or 6 men that you've dated, that you've had sex with. Ask yourself, how soon did that sex happen? And how did it work out? Right? That's it. That's it. That's exactly what I ask my clients to do. Like, do your own research. Why don't rely on mine. I have tons of research of my own life, of my own things that I've done. Like, seriously, maybe you've never done this, but sit down with yourself, write the names of the last 5 men you've dated and the last 5 men you've had sex with, and ask yourself, okay, how long did it take for me to be sexually intimate with this man? Give a rough estimate. And how did it work out? How did it go? How did it work out? That's it. That's it. You can do this for yourself. And that's what I encourage every woman to do. Do this for yourself. Sit down and say, okay, I had sex with this guy within 2 weeks. I had sex with this guy within a month. I had sex with this guy after 3 months, 6 months, whatever, right? But ask yourself that question and do your own research. Yeah. So I'm seeing it didn't. It happened too soon and never worked out. Can I be honest? That's what most women, not all of them. I've had maybe out of 100 women that I've worked with, maybe two said, oh, we met at the club and went home with each other and had sex and now we're married. 2 people. Or, oh, we're still in a relationship and he respects me, he loves me. 2 out of 100. I have a client right now that was her story, and they got married, they had children, and now they're going through a divorce. So, again, and there's been some infidelity in the marriage on both their parts. So, I would say it doesn't really work out, 98% of the time, right? And because I'm speaking to the 98%, I'm not speaking to the 2%. My platform is not for you. If you're, the outlier, my platform's not for you, right? Because you want to go off the beaten path and have great results every time. And research has shown, especially my own personal research, that no, that's not what happens. That's not how it works. There are godly principles and rules and laws, and they're put in place for, the majority of us. And a principle is simply, this is how it's going to work out most of the time. This is for most of you all. And that's what I teach. So It's funny. Like I said, we get these outliers and they love to say, oh, I met my husband on Tinder and we went out, I slept with him on the second date. And okay. That's all I can say to that, because I'm not going to go back and forth and try to convince you otherwise. Okay. But for most of us, we have had sex with a man, and sometimes after just one time having sex with a man, we grow attached. We're definitely going to grow attached if we have sex with him more than once, right? We're going to find our mind thinking about him when he's not with us. We're going to find our mind thinking about what he's doing, who he's with. And then if he doesn't come back right away, we're going to find our mind wondering why. We're going to see our self-esteem tank. Because the truth of the matter is, ladies, we like to make up stories. Like when there are these blanks, there's these blank spaces that what I call the don't know, right? It lives in the I don't know. So we make up stories. We make up a story to fill in those blank spaces. And it's usually not a very good one. It's not a very positive one. It's not a very self-affirming story. And our self-esteem plummets. And then we find ourselves running after the man. Where is he? Where is he gone? What's going on? What are we? See, here we go. Here we go. But when you save the best of you, save it for love, save it for exclusivity, save it for commitment, save it for engagement, save it for marriage, right? You save it until you really know who that man is. You know what he's about. You know if he's serious about you or not. You know if you all are exclusive. You know if you all are committed. You know if you all are engaged or married. You know if he loves you. Like, even if I went on a campaign that said save sex for love, people would fight me on that. And that's how crazy 2022 is. People would fight me on that. They would push back on a campaign that says save sex for love. Like, you don't even need love anymore. You don't even need to love that person. You don't even need to like that person. That's how crazy a time we're living in 2022. And sex is the most intimate, personal act. It is an act of creation. You can get to play God when you lay down and have sex with a man, because guess what? You can create a human being. And yet, people are pushing back. People are pushing back on the concept of save sex for love, save sex for exclusivity, save sex for commitment, save sex for engagement, save sex for marriage. Oh, they're definitely pushing back on save sex for marriage, because folks out here today don't even want to get married. So in their mind, I'm asking them to just be abstinent. Okay. So there is no free sex. There is no free ride. Why do people accept there is no free ride? Like, they get that concept. But when you start saying there is no free sex, all this pushback, what and why are you? And definitely from the men. And definitely from the men that, like I said, they want their sex. They want their sex, right? Like, I want my sex. I want it free. I want it free. I want it without any attachment. I want it without any strings. I want it as soon as I can get it. That's like a child. That's like, please be aware of men like this. That's like a child. That's like a child to me. A petulant child. That I want it now. I want it as soon as I can get it. I mean, it's all about gratification. It's all about a hedonistic pleasure. And ladies, you don't want that man. You do not want a man that's all about his hedonistic right here and now pleasure. Because that man will lie. That man will cheat. That man will, he will be crafty and unfaithful. It says something about a man's character. One thing I know about the men that are waiting, the men that are abstaining, they have character. They have delayed gratification. They're not out here in the streets with anybody, much less me. And they're like, yeah, I've had sex. What's the big deal? Y'all act like sex is the best thing you can get. That's the best thing you can get out of a woman, or that's the best thing you can get. Like, these are grown men. These are grown men that I know. They're like, sex ain't going nowhere. I can get sex whenever I want. What else is there? See, that's what a grown man is going to tell you. The last thing he's going to start pressuring you for at date 3, which is insane, is sex. Like, come on. Dude, that's the height of immaturity to me. And again, I've told you this myself. Men are wired to want sex. I get it. That's in their very nature. However, what I'm asking men to do is come a little higher, like raise up a little higher, because you're not an animal, because you have executive functioning. You don't have to just fall prey to lust. Like, you don't have to. You can think. You can actually think. You can actually make goals and have, you can think into the future. We're human beings. We're not animals. It's not just about today. You can make plans. You can have goals. That's what I'm asking a man to do. Think beyond this moment. Because you have sex with that woman that you barely know, even if you use a condom, that condom comes off, you ejaculate in her, you got problems. You got future problems. You got 18 to 21 year future problems. See? You have to think beyond now. And that's what's killing me about men who are just pressured about this sex thing. I need sex. I need sex. Is there anything else that you need? Anything else going on in your life other than getting ass? Yeah, I said it. So I'm going to look at these comments. Because come on, y'all. We got to do better. We have to do better. I get it. I get it. Like I said, I know how men are wired. However, it's the highly evolved man that interests me personally. I'm not interested in men that's all they're thinking about is getting laid. Like, do you have a business? Do you have a purpose? Do you have anything else that you're doing with your life other than this I'm on this quest to get laid? Like, that's a turnoff to me. And here's the thing. If it's serious, if you're a good, healthy, masculine man, if this is going somewhere, if we love each other, if we're engaged in getting married, you're going to get some sex. Nobody's trying to deny you of getting sex. However, it's this just hedonistic, it's all about my pleasure. It's all about my sexual pleasure that is just blowing my mind. And like I said, call me old, call me a fuddy-duddy or whatever, call me, out of touch, out of date. I believe that that's something that should never change. It should, that's not to me an old school value. That's just what I call good morals. Like, I don't understand why people think that, oh, that's so outdated, that's so antiquated, that's so old school. No, I think that's just being a good moral person. Like, really? All right, Jackie, I shouldn't have said that. I'm trying to pronounce, I don't know if that's your last name, Shatea. She says, but I believe it's also the intentions and motivations behind the sex too. Like if it's feeling unworthy or feeling like need the sex to show something, prove something. Right. And that's a lot of women. Like, let's be honest. A lot of women are having sex for all the wrong reasons. And yet these male influencers, yeah, you're playing games if you're withholding. You're playing games if you're abstaining. Let me go into the clinical side of myself, and I'm just going to share this. So as a therapist, what a lot of people don't understand is when you have complex PTSD, when you have codependency. So I'm going to the clinical side of myself now. You're not having sex for your pleasure. You're not having, and people say, oh, I want to have sex when I'm comfortable. There is no such thing. You're going to have sex because you feel like you owe it to the person. You're attracted to the wrong person. You have this chemistry thing going, and that's basically, in a nutshell, telling you that this is not a good match. That's why you're all riled up, is those chemicals racing through you are saying, something about this isn't right. Something about this is familiar to some abuse you had in the past. That's why you're having this. So you're having sex for that reason. You're having sex for approval. You're having sex for people pleasing. Like, it's not even about your pleasure. It's definitely not about love. It's not about anything good. And so telling women, yeah, you should be having sex on the third date, you're telling a woman who's codependent and trying to recover. You're telling a woman who has CPTSD, that's the last thing she should be doing, is moving quickly and having sex too soon. Like, you're not helping. You're not helping her recover at all. You're keeping her stuck. So yes, I'm very passionate about this because it's causing more brokenness. It's not helping people to heal. When you're saying, yeah, you should have sex when you're comfortable. You should have sex on the third date, and you should have sex if a man does this or buys you this or this. No, you're adding to people's brokenness. You're not helping them heal. And I've always said that please don't go to the internet for healing. Please don't go to social media for healing. That is not the place to heal. That's not the place for you to truly grow. There are many other places you can go, but that ain't it. Okay? Don't do that. I wish I heard this before instead of just sex is bad or a sin and only for marriage. No, it's deeper than that, right? So I tell people, even if I took faith out of it, even if I was just talking from a clinical perspective, or even if I was talking from an evolutionary psychology perspective, there are great reasons to not have sex so soon. Okay. And then I can talk from a STD perspective. I can talk from an unwanted pregnancy perspective. Like, I have lots of other perspectives other than religious, other than faith-based. Now, I happen to be a person of faith, so I'm going to introduce that into the conversation. But even if I took all of that out, it's just not smart. And it's certainly not to a woman's advantage. And to me, if I ever were to call myself a feminist, which I wouldn't, but to me, that is a feminist view. A feminist view says, do what's best for you as a woman. That's it. Make sure that you as a woman are good, that you're not doing things or putting yourself in situations that will hurt you. Like, to me, that's basic. But no. Apparently that's not how it works. Do whatever. Give them whatever. Have sex, whatever. That doesn't benefit the woman. Cherry Girl says, sex is so not necessary. Unless you're a pro, you normally get nothing you want in return. Women take huge risks. Oh, don't even get me started on the risks. Cherry Girl 874, don't get me started. like I said, I can talk about the physical. Yeah. Don't get me started, especially these days. Yep. Don't even get me started. No. We have to do better. Low value men demand sex regardless of how much money they have, for sure. And look, did HIV go away? I was just saying that the other day to a friend. I said, man, people out here having sex like HIV has been cured. Did I miss something? Like, I actually went on Google. Because I said, well, maybe it has. And I missed it. Because I don't be on the internet like that, y'all. I really don't. I be focused on my dreams and my goals and my plans and my future. I be out doing stuff. And then I be out in the street. I be out meeting people, doing things, going places. Like, I'm not online, like, talking about that. So I had to Google it. I said, well, maybe it has. Maybe it has been, cured and I just wasn't aware of it. No, y'all, it ain't. It hasn't been. Last I checked, HIV is still alive and well, and depending on your specific situation, it can still kill you. Yeah, they have all these drugs and all this stuff you got to take to keep you alive, but man, you don't want no part of that. You don't want no part of them drugs. Great message to consider your principles. This is Diane Miller. Consider your plumb line, your belief system. If we do not, we are meeting physical needs, not emotional or spiritual needs. I'm more than my body. Precisely. I want to love mind, body, and spirit forever, for sure. So it can't just be about this physical, hedonistic gratification. And then two, let's go here. If you are in the 70% of women, we're about to have an adult conversation now. So if you're in the 70% of women that actually do not orgasm from intercourse, like if you're in that 70% where just having intercourse with a man, you're not going to have an orgasm. So let's add that. Like, it may not even be that pleasurable. But yet, you're giving it to him for him. 99% of men will orgasm during sexual intercourse. And that's regardless of the woman's ethnicity, race, weight, height, socioeconomic class, religion, or whatever. It don't matter. A man having intercourse with a woman 99% of the time is going to ejaculate. He's going to have an orgasm. 70% of women having intercourse with a man will not have an orgasm. Okay? That's a clinical fact. Okay? That's so sad. What would these guys teach their daughters? I don't know, Court Sinclair. I don't know. Like, I would love to ask that. What are you telling your daughters? Are you telling them to have sex on the third date? Like, yeah, that's a good... I need to ask that question. Like, what are you teaching your daughters? That's insane to me. So, there is no free sex. Jackie says, especially from the CPTSD perspective, you're literally suppressing your own needs to put someone else's needs first, thinking it will fill you up. Exactly. That's what's so damaging about that message. And this is my point exactly. We're listening to male influencers' perspectives, and they're not clinically trained. They don't even know or love us. Like, they're just, can I be honest? They're giving us information that benefits them. like, it's not hard. It's not hard. If you sit down and you really say to yourself, how does this message that this influencer is giving me, how does that benefit him? How does that benefit him and people of his gender? Like, that's it. And the truth is, quite a bit. Like, it benefits men quite a bit. So even if he's not sleeping with you, he knows some other man is. And ladies, one thing I'm going to tell you, men do stick together. I've had to learn that the hard way. There are men in my life that I was like, okay, I know they're not going to align on this. And they align. Like men who don't align on a whole lot else. But when it comes to women and sex and all of that, oh yeah, they're team men all day long. Team man all day long. I wish women had that kind of loyalty. Like, I wish we would stick together. I wish we would finally bond together and say, girl, I don't want you to ever sleep with another man who's married. I don't want you to ever sleep with another man who's separated. I don't want you to sleep with another man until X, Y, and Z time go by. Like, if we all stuck together, we would really get somewhere. This whole thing would turn around. If we made marriage, in order to have sex the standard, this whole thing would turn around. Yes, we would lose some men, for sure. We would lose some men forever. They would just be like, screw this, I guess I have to get a prostitute or whatever. We would lose some men, but not all of them. Because the truth is, ladies, most men don't want to pay for sex, right? They don't want to just straightforward go out here and hire a pro. Most men, again, we're talking about most. You have a small percentage of men who will pay for sex. They know what it is. They know the woman's a pro, and they'll pay for sex. That's a very small percentage. Most men don't want to do that. That's not exciting to them. There's nothing great about that. They would rather, even if they don't know you. Isn't that interesting? Even if they don't know you, they'd rather go out. They'd rather pick you up in a club and take you home and have sex with you. And to me, there isn't much difference between that. Like, what's the difference? She's a stranger, the prostitute's a stranger. I don't know. But it's a weird thing they have in their mind that I'm not trying to, pay no hoe. I'm not trying to pay a pro to have sex. Most men are not going to do that. And so I know for a fact that in a year, 2 years, 5 years time, everything would be right side up. It will right itself. And men would, okay, I got to look beyond this sex thing. I got to actually try to get to know this woman. I got to try to, marry her, build something with her. I got to really, I got to transmutate all this sexual energy that I have and really try to get to. I even think, let's go here. I even think it will make more masculine men. Like, men will have no choice but to focus all that sexual energy on other things, like making money or whatever goals they have or whatever thing they want to do. I actually think it could benefit men, if you want me to be honest. But if we made being married the new standard to have sex with a woman, I think a lot more masculine men would come up and out of this society, because they're like, okay, even if they said, oh, I'm turning away from women, I'm going my own way. But they would have to go somewhere else. You know, they'd have to figure out, okay, what else do I want to do with my time and energy? And maybe they'll write a book. Maybe they'll invent something. Maybe they'll, whatever, fill in the blank. But right now, you got a bunch of lazy, shiftless men. And somehow, y'all, I don't know how they do it. I would love to know. They can get free sex out of a woman. I to this day, I'm just thinking to myself, who are these women sleeping with these unemployed, living in his grandmother's basement, don't have no car, don't take you nowhere, who's sleeping with you? Like, who's sleeping with you? Like, seriously. But women, we have denied our hypergamous nature. Like, in the last 60 years, we have flipped it backwards. We flipped it on its head, where we will engage with men that have nothing. That is completely out of our nature as women. Women evolutionarily have always looked to the man that has the greatest resources. That's why, another reason why women love tall men, we gravitate toward protectors. We believe that a man much taller and bigger than us can protect us. That is deeply psychologically, built in us from an evolutionary standpoint. And we flip that on its head. We're like, nope, he don't have to have nothing. He don't have to be nothing. He don't have to, And it's so crazy to me, because we'll let go of that standard. We'll let go of the resource standard, but yet we still want a tall man. It's so crazy how we have picked and choose. Oh, well, he don't need to bring anything. I got my own money, but I still want him to be tall. But I still want him to be bigger than me. What? Like, what kind of sense does that make? No, he need all of it. And like women tell me the other day, oh, I don't need his money. I said, no. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Stop putting that out here, that you don't need a man's money. I need your money. Like, I've never been shy about that. I've never in my life ever told a man I don't need his money. Quite the opposite. Whatever you have, you need to bring it here. Like that, I've made that very clear. I will not bend. I will not back down. Whoever don't like it, okay, you don't like it. I've never fixed my mouth to say something so silly as, I don't need a man's money. I don't need him. I just need his love. I don't need him. I want him. Stop saying that. That's why we're in the predicament we're in. Yes, I need your money. Yes, you need to work. Yes, you need to financially provide. Yes, you need to have something of your own. All day. I've never not said that. And to me, it's beyond sad that that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're teaching women. You don't need his money? What? No, I just can't. I just can't with that. Whew. All right, there needs to be a narrative for men that they also shouldn't be just sleeping around, also like value themselves more. Yes, and we're seeing that more. It's slow, very slow, but I am seeing men come out and say that more. We are seeing that a little bit more. Again, men telling women what to do with their bodies. Okay, I'm assuming that's about the sleep with them. Yeah, but yes, she said Chirac. Yeah, I love that movie. I love that movie because if we just stood together, we could actually get somewhere. We really, really could. Yeah, and she says this would build our communities, our families, and our lives. And we need that. We need each other. We need our communities back. We need our families back. And we don't have that. And y'all, can I be frank? All of this happens. See, this is what a lot of people is going clean over their head. All of this happened because of money. All of this happened because of consumerism. Because at the end of the day, y'all, the haves, okay, the 3% or the whatever, the 1%, it's better if you stay single. It's better if we, instead of 2 people living in one home, 2 people buy 2 homes, right? It's better if you stay single. It's better if you both have a place. It's better if you both have a home. It's better if you both have a car. Like, it's better for the system. That's how the capitalist system is going to stay alive and well. It's better if we keep you all apart instead of pooling your resources. Instead of only, living in one home, you're now going to buy. So we're going to double. We're going to double everything that we were doing. So back from the 50s, the 40s, where we had tons of families. The black family, oh my God, 79% of black people were married. And now we're looking at 23%. It's insane. The numbers are insane. But yeah, we need, to double and triple the consumerism. We need women out here working. We need them out here buying. So not only are they out here working, they're out here buying. So where once, I'm a housewife, or, I work part-time and we predominantly live off my husband's salary. Oh, now I have my own money. I can buy my own Birkin bag. I can buy my own this. I can buy my own that. And y'all didn't even realize this is what's destroying you all. This is what's ripping the family apart. This is what's ripping man and woman from each other. Is money. It's consumerism. This idea of, why sit at home and, let your husband pay all the bills because, he can't afford that Dubai vacation. He can't afford that Birkin on his salary, but that's what you really need. That's what you really need, girl. You really need that Birkin. You really need that trip to Dubai. You really need, and we fell for it. We fell for it. She said, sex is expensive. Women who give it away for free don't know their worth. Amen. That's it. Yep. Yeah, low self-esteem is going to cost you. Amen. It's value behind the money, the principles behind money. It shows his character. We are settling, right? Please stop giving these men your body. Please stop. I don't even give a man free access to my time. Much less my body. Like that. My body is the least of my worries. Because men know me. They know me. I'm like Fort Knox all day. They're like, Anita ain't doing that. She ain't going there. But they'll call, they'll text, we'll go out, we'll go, I'll visit them in their city or whatever. But they already know what time it is. But even that, I'm like, I've got something going on today, or, I've got an event tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to meet up. I can't talk on the phone. I got to get into bed early. Got to be up early. Like, I even treat my time that way. Like, I don't stay on the phone for hours and hours and hours. I don't have that kind of time. Time is money. My time is worth $150 an hour. So I don't have 2 and 3 hours to give you. Nope. And if anything, I'm multitasking. I do that quite a bit, and a lot of men don't like it, but I'm, out and about, and I'm talking to them on my Bluetooth, or I'm doing something at home and I'm talking to and they're like, you doing something, aren't you? Yeah, because my time is valuable. What did you think I was doing? Sitting in my rocking chair, just talking to you? Like, I have lots of things going on. So that's it. Yeah. But this whole thing was a ploy to destroy the family. And it worked. It got women into this consumerist mindset of what I need, what I want, what I gotta have, and buying. Oh man, 83% of household shopping is determined by the woman. That's even when she's married, and definitely when she's single is 100%. So yeah, it worked. We got you all to put stuff ahead of marriage. We got you all to put things ahead of relationships, because that's the American way, especially in 2022. But it worked. But no, ladies, we have got to return to some basic values and principles. We have to, especially those of us that want to have a healthy relationship with a man, that want to be married. We've got to return to some basic values and principles, because they worked. Like, they worked. That's why I talk about it all the time, because it worked. 79% of us were married. Now we're dropping down to 23%. So it works. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm sharing it. I don't give y'all information just because. Like, I don't just make up something on the top of my head. I research it and I bring it to you because it works. right? And that's very much who I am as a therapist too. I give people the tools and the skills that I know works. It will get them what they want. That's it. That's it. Yeah, she says that's because relationships in the past weren't worth it. That's interesting. What makes you say that? Relationships in the past weren't worth it. Weren't worth what? And this might be a conversation about, because I find much younger people, this is what's so fascinating to me, much younger people love to come on and talk about how horrible grandpa treated grandma. And I'm like, was that just in your house, or did you hear other people talking about that? Because you do understand that one instance or a small instance of infidelity or beating or whatever, like that doesn't mean everybody, right? You understand that, right? Like, you got to open up your head to think, okay, I have heard one or two stories, but if I didn't live back in that time, how else would I know? Like, that's what I always wonder when younger people start talking about how bad it was, especially in my day. I'm like, I was there. Like, I was there. So you're theorizing. You're getting this from somewhere, because if you're 30 and you're talking about the 70s or the 80s, like, I was there. You're making this up, or you're theorizing. You're getting this from somewhere and you're bringing it to the conversation. And can I ever so politely, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I was there. So just like my mom was there in her day, and my grandmother was there in her day. So when people come on and they talk about how horrible the good old days were, or I'm just like, were you there? like, how do you know this? And again, maybe your grandmother said it. Maybe your mother said it. I don't know, but I'd just be curious. Okay. She says, in my family. Okay. But outside of that, what else do you know? That would be my next question. So outside of that, because I would ask you to open up to the idea that not everybody lived like that. Not everybody was abused by their husband. Can I give you some statistics? Most women are not. Most women are not beaten by their husband. Okay? And I can pull up a study and actually prove that. But most women are not. Most women do not experience domestic violence. But if we saw it, or if we know people who did, we assume it's prevalent, it's running rampant. It really isn't. It really isn't. And to some extent, I can even say the same thing about infidelity. It's not, just out here, everybody's cheating, everybody. Okay, but if that's your experience, I'm not here to negate your experience. Okay? It's a switch on nature. Women naturally value people, and men naturally value things. Society has switched, for sure. I agree with that. And again, women they've drank the Kool-Aid. They have just embraced it, hook, line, and sinker. They have denied their natural, their nature. They've completely denied their nature. And honestly, and I'm not going to get off of this one either. I've had a lot of people fight me on this, but I believe that's why women are so unhappy. Like, when we're not in our natural state, when we're not embracing our God-given wiring, we are going to be unhappy. We are going to be unhappy. And it's the same with men. Men are not embracing their natural state. They're not embracing their God-given wiring. And that's why men are suffering. That's why you have these incels and this pornography addiction and, drugs and alcohol and, you name it. And it's and men wandering around purposeless because they're not in their God-given nature. But that's me as a person of faith talking. That's what I believe with all of my heart, that when we are out of order, when we're out of God's order and the way he created things to be, there will be chaos. There will be chaos. That's what we're living in now. We're living in complete chaos. So, sorry. It's a trip, but please don't let these male influencers, like, I had to unfollow a lot of them because I said, you know what? I like them as a person. However, I can't listen to this. I can't let this permeate me. I can't let this in because, again, they don't know you. They don't love you. They don't know the struggles that you're having. And when you're saying to them, Hey, I've made a decision to abstain. Oh, that's a game. Oh, that's a ploy. Oh, y'all think that's going to do this and that. They don't know that you have CPTSD. They don't know that you're recovering from codependency. They don't know about your struggles. They don't know about you being raped. They don't know about the molestation. They don't know about any of that. And so they're sitting here advising you, and God help you if you take that in. And before you know it, you're back in a space that you tried really hard to get out of. So please don't let it in. You might have to unfollow. You might have to, leave a lot of that alone, because it's just not healthy. It's not healthy advice. And again, I know how this thing works. That's why I take breaks from social media. Sometimes I'll find myself like it'll start to get in and I'm like, no. I need to take a break. I need to take a break. I need to step away from this. I need to unfollow some people. I went over on Facebook. I took myself out of all the groups I was in. I, unfriended a bunch of folks because I was like, yeah, anytime my mind starts to doubt stuff that I know is good for me, I have to leave it alone. And I encourage folks to do that too. She said, ever seen the show Snapped? Yeah. Oh, yeah. She says people are unhappy because they don't do the work on themselves. For sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's a real thing. It's a real thing. But just, be mindful. Be mindful of who you follow and whose advice that you listen to. Right? Be very mindful of that, because a lot of people are out here. They're not credentialed. They're not licensed. They're not certified. They're just giving thoughts and opinions. And guess what? They're entitled to that. You're entitled to give your thought and opinion. However, if you have, some serious trauma, if you have CPTSD, if you were once codependent and you're trying to recover, see, those are things they don't know. And they're saying, yeah, you should be, having sex on the third date. No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. That's the last thing you should be doing. You have CPTSD, you need to go slow, okay? Very, very slow. You need to make sure that you can trust that person outside of, how sexy they are, how good they look, what they have. Like, no. Yeah, that's unfollowing and removing yourself from certain things. And so social media is so refreshing. Yeah, for sure. You're speaking the truth. We are meant to create life, a peaceful home, and enduring families, right? We can only do this with men who are engaged in this process, for sure. Like, that's why I'm relatively happy. And I tell people that all the time. Clients ask me, coaching clients, therapy clients, they're like, you seem relatively happy. You seem full of joy. You smile. You this, they always say that. What's your secret? What are you doing? Well, I am in my natural state. I am in the state that I believe God created me to be in. I've fully embraced that. I no longer fight that. I've fully embraced it. I've been married. I have 3 children. They're grown now. And I have really, really enjoyed my children. I still do. I still enjoy my children, but I really enjoyed raising them. I enjoyed the process of it. It was character building, right? It really helped me to be the woman that I am. I've done a tremendous amount of personal study. I've done a lot of work on myself in and out of a therapist's office. Like, I have I have hobbies and interests that I love. I love myself very deeply. Like, I have a deep and abiding love and respect for myself. So these are the things that I share. That's why I'm not on antidepressants. I'm not full of anxiety. I'm not, full of shame. I'm not, out here, doing stuff for attention. I'm not out here giving myself away for free. I'm like, no, I know what it is. You have no idea how hard I work to get here. And you think that I'm going to give it to you after 3 dates? Like, 3 dates? I have been doing this work for 25 years. And you think in 3 dates? Like, y'all, come on. Y'all got to, come on. It's not hard. Like, really? Good. She said, I put all the things on my timeline that I care about. That's good. I do too. I love things that are funny. I love animals. I love things that are positive. Those are the things that go on my timeline. Yeah, because I want to see things that uplift me, things that make me feel good. Okay, so I'm headed into my session shortly. I'm going to head downstairs and get my water and get myself set up. But thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. This is also Content Creation Day, so I'll be creating some reels and some YouTube videos today and trying to batch those things. If you have not been over to the YouTube channel, I am this close from being monetized. So if you could please head over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, because I'm not quite there yet. And then check out what's there. There are over 211 videos there, right? Everything there is to know about the work that I do, lots of free coaching, there's a couple of free courses over there that I put on YouTube. Please head over to YouTube and check it out. I'm going to start going live on YouTube a little bit more because I do want to eventually make YouTube my biggest platform, and Instagram will be my kind of backup platform. But head over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. I thank you in advance for doing so. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your day, ladies. And as always, stay open to love.